Your buyers were 67% done with the sales cycle before they actually engage with your sales rep. What can you do to make sure that your company and your sales team are actually top of mind for that buyer, even when they're doing so much research on their own? Check it out. Hey, everyone. Welcome to another great episode of the Sales Evangelist Podcast. I'm your host, Donald C. Kelly, the Sales Evangelist, and I'm so excited for another great episode. I am so excited to be here with you today. On this episode, we're going to be tackling what you should be doing. We talked about this in our series that we kicked off the other day. Today's our second installment of our series, Why So Many Sales Reps Miss Their Quota in Q1. This happened because of some situations from Q4, but Q1 numbers ain't look too pretty. One of the number one reasons that we find is the simple fact that sales reps are showing up way after the buyers are long gone. And what I mean by this is that your buyers have a decision, or they're making decisions. They're doing research and preparatory work way before they meet with you. And by the time the sales rep is showing up, giving a call, giving a pitch, the buyer may already be way down the pipeline. And the other side of this too is that even if they're coming as an inbound lead, this person, they're interested in what you may have, they are way down the cycle before they actually sit down and talk to you. But what can we do to fix that? I'm going to tackle that. If this is your first time listening to our podcast, we kicked off a series. It's a 6-part series, and maybe a 7. I may do a bonus episode, but it's tackling why sales reps miss quota in Q1 and specific reasons why they did so with data-backed insights. And I'm giving you ways that you can fix it. We're going to go over the first episode was tackling the 10 most common reasons, data-backed reason why salespeople miss quota in Q1. Second, this episode is tackling the first one of those problems. I picked the top 5 out of those 10, and I'm tackling each of them and breaking them down with a scenario based on if I'm selling a cybersecurity solution. So that's the floor. That's the where we are at this point. If this is your first time, please subscribe, stay part for the series, but also stay tuned as we continue to share topics and insights that help you to build pipeline and accelerate deals closure. Let's dive in. The first piece that I want to look at when it comes to this particular scenario, when your buyer, I'm going to give you the stat. Some of you may have heard these stats already, but B2B buyers complete 67% of the buyer's journey before engaging with a sales rep. 67% of the journey. 61% of buyers of B2B buyers now prefer a seller-free environment. That's an interesting data from 2025 from Gartner, and it's still showing true today. LinkedIn generates 80% of all B2B sales social media leads. And then finally, sales professionals who master social selling create 45% more opportunities and are 51% more likely to hit their quota. So what should we be doing at this point? What's the issue here? I don't see a problem, Donald. Well, the challenge is dark funnel. So I'm going to read the scenario for you. Let's pretend that you are working at a cybersecurity company. You are the sales professional. And you have this champion is the CTO. So it's the CISO, the Chief Information Security Officer. So here, I'm going to read this out for you. The CISO at the healthcare system has already read 3 Gartner reports, watched 2 vendor webinars, shortlisted 4 competitors, and had your solution reviewed by their internal security architect. By the time they fill out the demo request form on your website, they are 67% of the way to a decision. If your LinkedIn profile is empty and you haven't published a single piece of content about healthcare, cybersecurity compliance, and ransomware trends in healthcare, they already have a perception about you and your company way before you even said your first word to them. The reps and companies that are posting healthcare specific cyber threats for the past 6 months, things about ransomware, challenges plaguing the industry, and solutions, ways they can fix it, are the ones that are going to have a bigger chance of standing out. There's a stat by HubSpot. It said 43% of executives discover solution through social media. And even in a situation like this where the CISO is looking and researching, what tends to happen, I don't know if you see this, but LinkedIn tends to show up in research, especially if they have content pieces that have given some weight, because LinkedIn has some great SEO. The AI research the AI summary through Google and through all of these platforms, they're going to pull from the most relevant data. So is your website optimized? And are the content you and your sales rep sharing on social media tie into the relevant challenges that your ICP may be facing? This is going to help in the AI research, but it's also going to help as they're doing peer-to-peer and research, as well as, so what I mean by peer-to-peer research is as they're asking their fellow CISOs, who are some of the top companies out there, where are you seeing insights? Do you see any blogs or any articles that that are posting about some of the threats or solutions? What are some of the companies that I should pay attention to? You don't need to be the best company in the entire world in your industry. You just need to be the best known. And that only comes when you and your executive, when your organization is posting content. My recommendation is that everyone should be content houses. You should be sharing insights that your buyers are looking for in that 67% range. What kind of things are they doing to make the decision? So they're looking at Gartner report. Can you post a Gartner report and give your insights on it? Or can you do a video on some of the Gartner report and share your thoughts on it? Can you give some real life scenarios from your clients based on issues that they've had? You don't have to give names at that point, but how they worked with relative to that report that came from Gartner. So maybe, for example, we saw that cyber threat increase because of XYZ over the past 6 months. Can you share an example of how this is happening and how your clients specifically are fixing this? Don't give names, but you can say one of our clients in the healthcare space with clinics all over the Southeast, they saw this particular issues and related to this Gartner research, and this was the result that they did to fix it. What this does is that now it makes it real, and the buyer can see that this company understands me clearly because they just outlined this, and they have solutions that can best help me. Your executive team should be posting it, but as a sales rep, you should be posting. And here's what I would tell you as individual sales reps. 3 things that I want you to be doing. 1, if you're in this situation, and it doesn't matter the industry, you may be selling something like a HR solution, or perhaps you're selling an AI solution, perhaps you're selling cybersecurity. It doesn't matter what you're doing, but the concept applies. But I'm going to use the cybersecurity industry example so you can best understand. The first thing I want you to do is post 3 different types of content relative to cybersecurity. Number 1, I want you to put threat intelligence if I was in cyber. So this is a threat intelligence commentary. So maybe like one of the things that I just shared, here's the major breach that happened, and here's some of the issues that came with it, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. How the company they had this breach could have fixed that. This is not your client, but this is just stuff that's out there. You can do ChatGPT or one of these sources and find out some of the top major breaches. Number 2 is compliance education. This is a huge one because there are always new insights based on some of the latest in the industry. So explain what the new compliance is and why this is an issue and how they can fix it. The third one is then field insight. So these are things that you've gathered from your clients or things that you're seeing as you work with different clients. This is gold. This is like free consulting, and the buyers need to see that. A lot of the deals that we get with our sales training organization come because somebody listened to our podcast. They see some of the content we share because we explain the problem so well that they're facing that they just can't, they just believe that we can fix it and reach out to us. And that that shortlist us way above our competitors. Prove it before they even get to you that you're the person that can fix the problem for them. The second thing I want you to do is commit to 3 posts per week. If you follow these buckets that you're doing, 3 posts per week. Now, these are content pieces that's going to work for you 24 hours, 7 days a week globally to your ICP. And it doesn't have to be viral content. If you get 20 or 10, 15 people to engage on it, this is relevant information to those ICP. You're not trying to please the whole world. If you think about this, if you have on that 15 people, you have 5 CISOs. 5 CISOs looking at this. They're not in market yet, but they're watching your content regularly. They're engaging on your stuff. Think about the relationship that you can build. You're way ahead. When they do have a need, you're the person they're going to go to because you're the trusted source. It's branding, and it's simple. It's not too difficult. And you might say, I don't have time to do this. Bull crap. You can use AI to help generate some of the content. One of the things I like to do with AI is as I find issues like coming up with my client, I will dictate it in just an audio explanation, and then I have it just transcribe it for me, clean it up, and then that allows for me to create content and create posts, and that's not too difficult. You could simply do that as well. You can even take some of those articles and say, can you do a summary of this, and then put your own flavor on it and post that. It is not too difficult. So I don't want to hear this garbage anymore that you don't have time to do it. It's way easier now than ever. And if you're going to keep doing the old school ways, you're going to get the old school result. I'm just being straight with you. The last one that I want you to do is optimize your LinkedIn. LinkedIn profiles are not supposed to be this resume. If you're looking for a job, that's a different story. But if you as a sales rep trying to make money, you're trying to sell, that needs to be optimized. Your About Me section is not necessarily about you. It's about what you can do for the client and for those folks that you're going after, you're working with. Your headline doesn't need to be B2B sales rep at XYZ company. That can be seen based on the profile itself. You want to use keywords because that's AI searchable. So you want to use keywords your buyers may be focusing on. So, protecting healthcare companies, with the latest compliance cybersecurity insights. I made that up, but the point is you have some keywords in there and it describes what you're doing in a simple way. It's not that difficult to be able to do so. Some of the past experience that you have on your profile, your past job or your current role, tell a story about some of the things that you've done to help clients like this person. You might, instead of saying I'm the number one sales rep, like that doesn't mean anything to the buyer, but you might say as a top performing sales rep in the Southeast, working with some of the largest enterprise clients such as blankety blank, helping them and their IT departments to optimize for compliance and security, like that whole thing change as opposed to I'm just the number one sales rep, because that shows who you work with, how you're doing them. And yes, you are a top rep in that industry, or we have helped, 67%, make it up. This is going back to that 67% because that's the number in my head right now, guys. But you might say something like, help reduce the cybersecurity threat to the, 25% of the largest organization in the healthcare space. Like, again, all of that tells me that your organization has some experience and has credibility. And that makes your profile so much more richer and allows for it to be, when people are searching for stuff related to cybersecurity, for your profile to have a higher chance of popping up in the feed. You can always update your profile, but those are some of the simple things. And you know what? If you're interested in learning about LinkedIn and how you can use it for sales, you should check out our LinkedIn prospecting course. Go to linkedin.com. Go to thesalesevangelist.com/LinkedIn. Again, thesalesevangelist.com/LinkedIn. I have a link in the comment below. Again, thesalesevangelist.com/LinkedIn. Jump on a waiting list for our next session. Would love to have you join us. But if you're doing this, if you're being present, if you're out there before issues come up, it's going to make you seem as if you're a consultant. You understand the industry more than anyone else, and this is going to make you stand out. If you can do this on a day-to-day basis, I promise you're going to be way more successful than your competitors. You're going to be the one people are going to as the GOAT. You're the one that can fix their problems. Now, this is not the end all be all. If you do this tomorrow, it's not going to be the perfect scenario, no matter what industry you're in, but you're going to keep practicing. You're going to keep posting content, and you're going to be that big fish in a small pond. You may have your pool may be of 2,000 CISOs. Of those 2,000, how many of them are buying from you? That's what we need to pin down. That's what we need to focus on. And if you can do that properly, magic's going to happen. Listen, I want you to thrive. I want you to succeed. Most importantly, I want you to raise your level of thinking. In the next episode, we're going to be tackling, it's going to be episode number 1994. And we're going to be going into the second most common reason that we've seen that sales reps were missing their quota in 2026. Yeah, 2026 this year, Q1 2026. So the number 2 point that I found that why salespeople are missing their quota, I'm going to tell you so you can come back, is the challenges with multiple stakeholders and how the deals are dying in the committee stage. I'm going to break down how you can fix this and how you can tackle it and defend against it if you're having deals right now that you're working on. Again, I want you to thrive. I want you to succeed. But most importantly, I want you to raise your level of thinking. I want you to go out and do big things. See you on the next one.